in the near future, I will be releasing a video about mental stops and hard stops and some of the things that I see other videos that have done this that have not really covered, right? Everyone has a bias to what they like and what they do, and they talk down about the other option, but there are pros and cons to both of these. In this video, I'm going to give you my reason with an example on my NIO trade on why I prefer mental stops over hard stops. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Carlos here with Bearable Trader. So here's our watch list of this morning's pre-market prep. We had NIO, Oxy, Baba, Apple, Mara, and Nike. And by the way, you had some really good trading, especially on Mara today. Nice pop here very early on. And Apple too. You had a lot going on today that was really in play. Nike had earnings last night, but this is what I don't like about Nike at times. It's just, it tends to be a little bit choppier side. It is selling off. I did mention that this morning that Nike tends to sell off when it has earnings. A few times Nike has gapped up. It usually ends up selling off. I don't know why. On that information I had earlier, and it should have went short at some point here, but NIO had us tied up for a bit there. So here's my entry. I got in half size. I thought about the gap up. I'm thinking there probably will be a pullback at some point with NIO here before we get going. Didn't think we are going to get this type of rip. When I saw this action here, just the buying pressure that's happening at the bottom here, I got in for another half size here to continue the trade for a total of 850 units. So we had a decent size on it. I would have added more if it would have came back down here, but I wanted to be close as possible to this 2078. But again, that turned out pretty good there as far as an entry, but would have liked to put on more shares on this trade because it looked good for a long once you got this beautiful candle here on the 5-minute. You could see how it breaks out of the high of the pre-market there and then becomes a beautiful opportunity, taking partials as we make higher opportunities here. We didn't, it kind of stalled here, didn't get going any further. And still right now, we're watching this live, is still yeah, just struggling to either go up or down, just kind of building a little bit of a range here. Now, getting back to our main topic of mental stops, I want to show you guys here the 1 minute, and I want to zoom in to where our entry was, right? So there's our partials all the way up there, but here's our entry. I want to focus on this part in regards to when it comes to a mental stop. So we got in for an entry here. As you can see, the stock went up, comes back down, just again, back and forth action there. On the way back up, we got in more shares. Now, my stop is roughly around this area, 2070. I do not want to see the stock going low. And the reason for that, because I have this right over here in the pre-market. You know, if it loses this, that's not the low of the pre-market. It's actually all the way down here. But, you know, I have certain levels here. You have another one down here as well. I don't want to see this go below that. So I have an area around 270. I want this stock to stay above that, preferably above that. You know, would I give it to 260? Probably. To 254? Probably. But my area is this. I want this stock to be above this as much as possible. Look what happens here, guys. Now, let's say I had a hard stop. You're clearly out of this trade. You're stopped out. You're out of this trade. You're done for that move, and that's okay. That is a way to trade. You lose a couple of cents. What is this? You lose a couple of cents. What is this? Is 20.90 or so. You lose 20 cents. No biggie. This sets up again. You can always get right back in, you know, maybe get a better price, better entry, set your stop even lower. You're still in control, right? So mental stops are not going to stop you from getting back into a trade if you get stopped out. It might be a little bit frustrating, but if your strategy is that I'm going to use mental stops, you have to have it in mind that if your strategy shows up again, you can get back in. So you know, many times people hit their stops and they're just kind of don't get back in on the trade because they don't want to get stopped out again. But you know, you got to have some flexibility if your setups does show up. So for me, this wouldn't trigger my mental stop, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm paying attention now to the actual price action. What is the price action telling me? We dropped here, but prior to this candle, you're seeing how much buying pressure you're getting here, right? Every time we have reached this level, we have bought up. So to me, this is interesting. Although we're not looking good right now as far as the stock price dropping here, dropping there, big drop there. Now here we're kind of struggling a little bit, and now we get this drop. Now you have my attention as, okay, maybe this is going to head in the other direction. But then you pull this candle, you open up here, you slam down and immediately slam back up. I'm not going to stop out on a trade like that. I'm not going to pull my mental stop on something like that. And the reason is because to me, this is a bullish signal. This tells me the buyers are stepping in at this price area, right? So if I see that, I want to wait to see what happens. Now, if this thing struggles and is not able to maintain this green candle or maintain above 2070, then yes, I got to pull my mental stop. may I have some slippage based on what I'm calculating that I want to lose, right? I want in this trade I wanted to pay 250 to see if we can get 500 or so or plus. We did better than that. We got 688. But that's what I'm doing. I'm paying 250 to see if this trade is going to work out, right? So like, if I lose 270, am I going to be upset? Absolutely not. If I go even down to 280, am I going to be upset? No. It's part of the way I trade, having that a little bit of flexibility in my trading, right? And that is why I'm using mental stops. We're going to do another video on this because we can go on for an entire hour talking about mental stops and hard stops. And I have some really good topics I'm putting together. Hopefully the video will be out next week. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that one. So guys, trade safe. A couple of things before I head out of here. The free trading simulator that we have available for you guys. Make sure you're taking advantage of this. Eamon provided a free video that is just out in our YouTube channel showing some of the great features and the upgrades that we have put together and how to use it. So take advantage of that. That is available now. And the next thing is we created a brand new channel called BBT Recap. And in this channel, we're going to see recaps from our members and moderators. This way we can keep things a little bit more organized as we grow this community. So thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up and now back to our video.